and let's hope that it does not happen in future. But I'm open to the idea that we can have some mechanism by which the interests of everyone, I'm more particular about the interests of the traveling public, that their interests are safeguarded. If their interests are safeguarded, the entire chain gets safeguarded. And all of you know very well that we had rounds of discussions, and we came out with a policy of refund. It went to the Honorable Supreme Court, and even the Supreme Court virtually upheld what we had evolved through discussions. So the discussions and discussion with stakeholders, interactions, taking your suggestions, that's the way to so that would be my response. And
नहीं तो ये चल रहा है वेबिनार तो मैं सुन रहा हूँ. नहीं दर्शन तो उनके करता हूँ.
Put everyone else on mute, please.
नहीं तो बड़े-बड़े लोग हैं ट्रैवल एजेंसी के.
Please.
तो
Mute everyone. Kapil, unmute the Honorable Secretary. So please unmute yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, it's unmuted.
Yeah.
I agree with you, sir. Thank you very much. I think on behalf of Faith, we will come out with a complete paper which we will submit to you. We'll have another meeting as a follow-up of your suggestion. We'll have another meeting amongst ourselves, and we will come out with some suggestions, both which industry and government could implement to safeguard the traveling public, as mentioned by you. We'll do that, sir. We hope to do it within the next week or so.
Please. The moment you are ready, you can come and meet me, or we can have another small chat like this.
Fine, sir. Thank you very much for this. Nakul, you want to respond?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir. Without further ado, and thank you. I'm not going to get into details, but your talk was most informative and I think absolutely up to the point, etc. And I fully support your points around business travel. And there was recently an article that was widely circulated on Bill Gates, who predicted that 50% of business travel would not be there for the next, and because of change of habits, etc. So therefore, we have to look at domestic tourism, we have to look at leisure tourism, etc. So one of the things that the industry has, and this is really somewhere I come to you as representing the various associations from the Federation to seek your guidance. So for years, why tourism and civil aviation suffered, and more so tourism, sir, because we were considered an elitist activity. We were the last thing ever to be noticed. The governments hesitated and shied away from giving us benefits because we were never considered as an economic activity and we were considered as an elitist activity. I was very happy, sir. You're one of the first few people I've heard who mentioned a number of times an engine of economic growth, something that I've been voicing for many, many years, etc. So it's an established fact that 10% of the GDP we are 10% of the GDP, and I think there's no dispute on that, whether it's WTTC satellite accounting, whatever you may take. So if we are 10% of GDP and we are the worst to be down, right, we can also be the first, right, to lead the recovery of the economy, right? So when the economy is to recover in what you called as the new normal, I think it is this industry, travel and tourism combined together, that can lead this recovery back, sir. Therefore, this is a message that we've got to get across to all stakeholders, the private and public, sir. And my views on this would be, sir, that we jointly create a task force in the private sector of tourism and civil aviation with only one focused agenda, sir. How do we bring it to the powers that be, to the stakeholders, to the citizens of India, to everybody, that tourism and civil aviation can lead the recovery of this economy back? That was my view, sir.
I think
absolutely valid. I think I'll be very happy to discuss with my colleague Secretary Tourism and have this task force constituted. Both it should be a joint task force with
absolutely, sir, and
civil aviation and all of you. Means it's the stakeholders who are important.
Absolutely, sir.
Then let's chalk out a plan of action. And it means who would have imagined 6 months back that aviation will be flying at 70% today with absolutely no problem. So
absolutely,
as you rightly say, it will be really drive tourism now, and both of us will very soon reach normal.
This is the opportunity, sir. If we are able to do this and achieve this, tourism and civil aviation for the next 2 centuries, sir, would be accepted as an industry that deserves its right engine of economic growth, as you call it, sir.
Suvash, unmute.
Sir, it is your vision and Honorable Hardeep Puri ji's vision. Both of you are highly educated that Today, domestic tourism is reaching 70%. And you are the only people with whom we have a lot of hope that you will restart the economic activity because you think on those lines. And then more people, otherwise more people will die of economic starvation than will die of actually COVID-19. So we have to, this disease is not going to go. We have to learn to live with this disease. So now before I put it open it to the people, we have the 10 Apex organizations. I will request the presidents of these associations one by one. First, from TAI, TAI has, sir, about 2,500 plus members. In today's meeting, we have only allowed the presidents and the managing committee members of the associations and a few airlines people to participate because, this organization alone. So from TAI is Jyoti or anyone else here from TAI?
I'm
Please,
Mr. Bhatia.
Mr. Bhatia, just no lectures, just a question, pointed question to the point because Secretary has very little time and we have to ask all the 10 associations to say something.
Sure, sir. Hello, good afternoon, Kharola ji. So, important question I'd like to ask that is something of prime concern. There are these air bubble flights and Vande Bharat flights that we are operating. I'm just citing examples to give names and nothing specific to a country or the airline. For example, USA has permitted tourist visa travelers to travel between India and USA, and the same is between India and UAE also. So, for example, an airline like Emirates cannot carry passengers from USA. So, can that air bubble also be permitted because Indians are permitted to travel to UAE and onward, and UAE and USA don't have a problem unless India does not. So, what the airlines are saying is that
So fine, the point noted. Point noted. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Point noted. Sir, can we go around the table and then maybe you can...
Yeah, that's better. I'm happy either way, but then we can go around. Let me respond to him directly.
Go around so that everyone gets a chance.
Yes, that's good. Because I'll have to leave at 1 o'clock sharp, please.
Fine. So we have time, sir. We have time. We quickly finish the round. So from TAFI, Pradeep Lula, are you there?
Yes.
TAFI also has around 1,500 members.
All of us have been meeting so often. We become so familiar to each other.
Yes.
And you know my answer also.
Pradeep ji, I mean, very enlightening speech. Basically, the new normal is also to live with COVID, because even the vaccination and all will, as we know, will take time. So we basically have to live with COVID. The first point is that if the bubble flights, of course, converted into schedule, and that would be that will only give us the impetus to start international, because you know the very happy to hear that 65% in domestic has come back, but international is yet near zero. It's only the bubble flights which we are doing. So if that could, I mean, we could have a stepping stone to that in a progressive way. The other things is that very rightly observed, business travel would be down. So therefore, the substitution has to take place with business come pleasure or something like that. So I mean, from your side, if you can, through the Prime Minister's office, give some impetus to the traveling public in terms of fiscal benefits. You know, as you have the LTC for the government officials, it could be maybe fiscal benefits to the corporate to, you know, so that it can only be an impetus. As we have seen in Maharashtra, even with the registrations, actually the registration, the cost of registrations going down, it has been an impetus to the real estate industry. So some sort of, you know, where, of course, when we have the task force, we can always look into that. That would be, yeah. And of course, Subhash ji and Nakul ji have covered all the other points, but these are the immediate points which are there. And of course, as the bubble flights, as my colleague Jay Bhati also said, that if from that point, if the other countries don't have a problem, if that could be a stepping stone to go forward on that. So these are the only points
Thank you.
I would like.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, ITO, which is the Tour Operators Association, Pranab Sarkar or anyone else from ITO is here?
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Goel. I'm there.
Yes,
You
Dada.
can hear.
Yes, Dada.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We would like your inputs.
So, thank you very much for organizing. Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes, we can. We
Hello?
can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much for organizing this webinar, and we are very, very encouraged by the real, topics have been described by the secretary, and appreciate his understanding for the engine for economic growth, which is we are trying our best. And if you recall, 2018 Prime Minister of India also said the same thing from the rampart of the Red Fort, that this is an Arthik Gatividi. So we should support that. With this, I have a suggestion that when Secretary Sir is so clear about the opening of the tourism, I would like to suggest that with the help of Ministry of Home, if we can recommend that the reciprocal basis, if tourism can be started, those countries, they have started welcoming Indian tourists, should be, vice versa, from their country to our country should be open. And to start with, gradually, if it is possible, to give a suggestion that all flights, neighboring countries to start with, or maximum of 4 hours flight to begin with, that these countries should be considered, and a date is announced, maybe next 2 months or 1 month, whenever it is suitable, that a date can be announced by the Home Ministry that tourism is going to open up. Then all our members will be very happy to, recharged, and they will try to come back, because as you rightly said, that last 8 months people are on furlough. They have not got their salaries, and we are not in a position to support them. It is a very, very difficult period going on, for which I think if jointly we can work, as the task force has been decided, you are going to set up a task force, we will be part of it, and will come out with much more better suggestions. This is for the time being. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Very valid point. I think, sir, about 80% of the foreign exchange earning of the country is done by ITO members, because the criteria for being an ITO active member is you have to be a foreign exchange earner recognized by the Ministry of Tourism. And all the 10 associations that we have, they are all recognized by the Ministry of Tourism. And ITO has also about 2,000 members. And then the largest organization is FHRI, which is the Federation of Hotel and Restaurant Association of India, which has about 4,000 members. So FHRI, is anyone there from FHRI?
Mr. Jason Chacko is there.
Yeah, please, Mr. Chacko, would you like to ask any question, or would you like to? Can you unmute yourself? Mr.
He seems to have, I think he's left, sir, Mr. Chacko.
Anyone else from FHRI? Otherwise, we can go ahead. Okay. So anyway, we'll take the suggestions from all the 10 associations, sir. Captain Sudesh Kumar is the president of the Adventure Tour Operators Association. And as before the meeting started, he was mentioning he's also holder of a commercial pilot license.
Good afternoon, sir. You spoke very well and touched almost nobody. I thought you are speaking as a tourism secretary, not the civil aviation secretary. You spoke very well. Thank you very much, sir. I have a suggestion to you. Also mentioned in your presentation in the beginning that the tourism provide opportunity to far-flung areas, and that is true. Far-flung areas of the Himalayas, a desert, a coastal area, wherever it is, and that is actually promotes adventure tourism. There are more than 15,000 adventure tour operators in the organized and unorganized sectors. I have two suggestions to give to you, sir. One suggestion is that you please open the small airports in different places, which is your hand to open, sir. Even though the tourism is not moving, but it will move. As you just said very clearly, in 3-4 months' time, it will boom. And our estimate is that it will be double next year business. So my humble request is, sir, like airports like in Kargil, the airports, airport like in Arunachal Pradesh or many other places, in Gauchar, in Uttarakhand and Chinadi Snow and things like this. So can you open those airports, sir? Because it will reduce the time taken from Dehradun to, for example, go to Joshima to take 1 hour to reach and stuff like this, sir.
Very important point.
Sir, I think it is absolutely, we've been struggling for the last so many years asking tourism, but I'm glad that I have reached the source itself. If you can order a couple of opening of the airports, few airports will be indebted to you, sir.
Very
The
valid
second
point.
point I want to say, sir, is our chairman has just said very well that we need to create confidence in the mind of the traveler. At present, the confidence is not there. If you, as a civil relations secretary, civil relations ministry, can put a ad, we as a 10 association can also chip in a little bit and say that fly air is safe because of A, B, C, D reason, and please travel by air. Don't worry, come travel. At present, what's happening is, in the domestic market also, people are traveling from small destination from Delhi to Mussoorie only or Simla only. Nobody's coming from Kerala to Delhi and to going to Simla. So my humble request, if you announce and give them confidence, it will have huge things up. And I really appreciate, sir, your presentation extremely very well, and I'm so happy to hear you. Thank you.
Thank you. The Indian Heritage Hotel Association, Maharaja Gaj Singh. Your Highness, are you there?
I'm right here.
Yes, sir. Your Highness, please. Maharaja Gaj Singh ji is the Maharaja of.
Namaskar.
Thank you.
Pradeep ji, thank you very much. It was very reassuring to see that the Honorable Secretary has everything on his fingertips, and you covered the ground extremely well. And we feel that a lot can be done. Two very important points you made, which we've been stressing. One is the synergy between tourism and aviation. And the other is that the tourism really is an engine of growth. And it has to be looked at as that. The days of looking at it as a pure luxury are gone. It is an economy trailblazing sector, and therefore needs all the support. I just want to reiterate what Captain Saab just said and what Mr. Anand said, is that first and foremost, I think we need to get this confidence back, and whatever moves and measures can be taken to put it out there in the public that air travel is safe. For instance, what he mentioned today about the way the airflow is. This is something I didn't know about. I don't think many people know about, that this is one of the safest things. The other thing is that what Suresh also said just now is, because I'm now speaking on behalf of the Indian Heritage Hotel Association, we're a small organization, but we have hotels in far-flung places. So the opening up of small airports and flights to them, I think is very essential. Because today what we're noticing in our hotels is people are coming short distances by car. And that is a popular means of travel, and that's the tourism that's getting going again. But air travel is still a bit of a no-no. So I feel that opening up of small airports will spread the message, and we will give a bigger print to the tourists. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Highness. Is PP Khanna there from the Association of Domestic?
Good afternoon, sir. In fact, rightly you said that 70% of the traffic is via the airlines. But if you really consider that domestic tourism, which is the lifeline of the country for the economic growth, no doubt about that. But if you really consider the travel by, the 31% is travel by the business travel at the moment within India, and almost 40 to 41% is travel of the meeting the relations, urgency, something like that. But in the tourism sector and the leisure sector, only 2% people are traveling by air. So that is exactly because they don't have any still they don't have confidence because of they think that there is no such kind of a social distancing in the aircraft. So that exactly is the main point. Another point which I would like to say that, sir, still, there are a lot of, the airlines which are not refunding the money to, the travel agents, and a lot of, money stuck with the people. And there is such kind of a no cancellation policy still. There is an uncertainty in like India, in Delhi, like now the cases are increasing. In that case, a lot of cancellations are coming. And what kind of exactly the airlines are not actually giving the cancellation, and they are putting the cancellation, if it can be considered that in that cases, the cancellation policies can be, look into that. Thank you.
I think we have lost you, Mr. Goyal. Mr. Goyal.
Hi. Give me a few seconds, sir. I'll try to get in touch with Mr. Goyal.
Meanwhile, I can start responding to the questions.
Sure.
Some good suggestions have been given. One is that the first one was that why don't we allow airlines, especially come from Gulf and all, to carry on to other destinations. So my question is that as it is, we have enough capacity. I told the first thing. The first intention is, if these have to be economic activities, there are certain preconditions. Aviation becomes an economic activity beneficial to India if you fly Indian carriers. Now, let's be very clear about it. So each country, we have seen that in this crisis, each country has been supporting their own airlines which belong to that country. So we also should promote our own airlines. That's the only thing. And as you have become world class, even our airlines can become world class. So we should give them an opportunity to perform, and it should not become a chicken and egg thing. And we are taking this stand that for aviation, we should promote our airlines, because when we promote airlines, economic activity takes place in India. The employment generation takes place in India. The taxes are paid in India. So all these things lead to a chain reaction, which leads to economic growth. If these are not fulfilled, then saying that these are economic growth, it becomes a fiction. So there are certain things which we need to do. My request to the entire fraternity would be that you can play a very important role in safeguarding our own carriers. Now, if any carrier goes down, you know very well what a big hit all of us take. And if an Indian carrier goes down, the biggest hit is to the Indian stakeholders. So my request is that we should support the Indian carriers, and I'm not saying support, we should give them an equal opportunity just as any other carrier. That's my first one. Second is, yes, business travel is going to come down, but there is a positive side in that. When the business travel is coming down, means the businesses will save huge amount of resources which hitherto they used to spend. I gave an example of today's webinar only. In ordinary days, this webinar would have cost a lot of resources. Today, the entire resources have been saved. So businesses also would save huge amount of money. Now, this money should become disposable money, and we should prevail upon the businesses that this savings which they incur should be used to promote travel. Or should be given, this should become a disposable surplus income in the hands of the employees. And when it becomes a disposable surplus income in the hands of employees, people would spend in traveling and tourism. So indirectly it helps. Opening of international thing, I fully agree with you. We have to move step by step. I agree with your suggestion that we will take up the matter with the government and the concerned ministry. Small airports, I think we are the biggest supporter of small airports. Not only airports, you will be finding that some heliports would be opening up shortly in this year, where helicopter also becomes a mode of travel for ordinary citizens, and seaplanes. Now, the water bodies in India we have immense number of water bodies. This potential has not been exploited. So we will have water drones. So small airports, yes, we are trying to utilize all the unutilized steps in You are very well of Udan scheme. Udan scheme is nothing but utilizing the idle resources which are already lying unutilized. And we are going to have heliports. We are going to have small airports. We are going to have waterdromes. So these things are going to happen. Now, see, things like waterdromes and all, they cannot succeed by itself unless tourism comes along with it and it becomes an experiential tourism. Now, that's where we require a huge amount of synergy between the tourism and the aviation. Let's take the case of Maldives. Now, Maldives, the seaplanes, I was told they have 100 seaplanes. And the seaplanes only work because the tourism industry is using them. The hotel chains are using them. Now, when Maldives can do all these things, why can't we? So we should learn from that example. Once again, the hotel industry, the tourism industry, and the aviation seaplane industry should sit together. This is a huge potential which has not been tapped. So that is one more work. I think this joint task force should really concentrate on this. And this would be a win-win situation for both aviation as well as tourism. As far as refunds is concerned, we have had long series of meetings and long discussions. We have had differences of opinion. Now, all this has been sorted out by a Supreme Court order. Let's all of us honor the Supreme Court order, and I will be requesting the DGCA to see to it that that order is implemented in letter and spirit.
Hi, sir. Can I, sir?
I don't know who's moderating. Mr. Goel has disappeared.
I'm back, sir. I'm back, sir.
You are back in some other position now.
No. So I think ICPB, like domestic tourism, the conference and convention industry, sir, is very, very important. And the chairman of the ICPB is the Joint Secretary, Ministry of Tourism, and Mr. Amrish Kumar Tiwari is the vice chairman, but he represents ICPB in all forums, and he is a board member of our faith. So Amrish, all yours.
Hi, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your such an informative, the guidance regarding the aviation. And I represent the meetings, incentive, conference, exhibition, business, and social event side of the industry. And that is growing very fast, and in terms of spending is 3 times higher than what the normal tourists do, sir. So India need to identify few MICE destinations. My point number 1 is in which promote. So like a destination like Khajuraho, which has an excellent airport, has come up, sir. Madhya Pradesh Tourism, I have spoken to Mr. Shukla. Madhya Pradesh Tourism has built a convention center, which is finishing by March mid, and that going to be world class, around 1,200 people capacity. And if we can have a regular flight from Delhi to Khajuraho, so not only, sir, the MICE and tourism, plus the local, as you given the example of Darbhanga, sir. So similar way, a very good tourism economic activities can be started in the whole zone. And plus there is like a Panna Diamond Factory, Rahin Falls, Panna National Park. Even if we have a heliport facility to the Bandhavgarh, so another area can be developed from the Khajuraho. So if we can make a MICE hub to the Khajuraho, sir, so that will be a great idea, and you can do this issue, because even season time, sometimes you get a Delhi Varanasi Khajuraho flight, but you don't get a Delhi Khajuraho direct flight. So that's point number 1, sir. Point number 2, sir, ki MICE need a very special handling of the delegates, sir. So if all the airport, if you can, sir, guide and them, ki they can give the MICE operator, which is Government of India, recognize PCO, Professional Conference Organizer, Professional Exhibition Organizer, and DMCs to have an airport counter, sir. Maybe at a charge basis, we don't mind to pay that. And we maintain the sustainability and make sure the customer has a very right information and, very rightly guided. So all these lapka and other thing can be sorted out, and image of the country and destination can be created, sir. My third point to you, sir, 26 million tourists travel abroad, as you rightly said, economy, development, and GDP contribution include when we use the domestic MICE or the domestic carrier. So if we can have an incentive scheme for the MICE by the domestic carrier, because we are targeting, because for the next 2 years, we are targeting to bring these outbound MICE back to the country. We are talking to around 2,000 association and corporate at the ICPB level. They should start doing their business in India. We wrote to the finance minister to give the 200% tax benefit, expenditure benefit to them. Similarly, if the airlines give the benefit, sir. My last point, sir, for the MICE globally, if you see the example of Germany and the Europe, normally they get a time. In India, sir, whenever we book the MICE group, airlines give us a 48 hours to make a 25% advance. That's even sometimes you don't even to revert to your customer, your client organization, you get this block. The moment you refund, the block has been finished. Again, you need to apply. In the Europe, it's 1 month. And even this deposit which you give, sir, after returning the customer, you get the money after 30 days, sometimes 45 days, even we have a cases of 60 days, sir. So this during this time when everyone have the liquidity crunch, so at least airlines should offer us give a 15 days, 20 days window when we operate the group. So D60 or D90, whatever date they take. But it should be not like 48 hours you make the deposits, or even it's not a breathing space in 48 hours.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is the major problem, sir. And if we can identify 5-6 new MICE destinations, sir, and along with the Ministry of Tourism and Ministry of Civil Aviation, we can develop this.
Thank you, Amrish.
I know you wanted to come, Mr. Goyal, but I wanted to make my point right. This is my industry demand, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, before I request the Honorable Secretary, because he has to leave by 1 o'clock, so sorry to have rushed in everything. Is ITA, the Indian Association of Tourism Transport Operators, anyone there? Otherwise, we'll ask the Secretary to. ITA, yes. Who's there from ITA?
Can't see anyone from ITA.
Okay, fine. So, sir, that's why firstly, I apologize for there were sudden power failures, so I had to.
No problem. Please, I think I'm
apologize for that.
Really happy that I participated in this thing, because any discussion with all of you is a learning experience for me also, and with the interaction with all of you, I have learned so many things, and this really helps in decision making. I think it answers questions and also I've all responded to. The MICE question, what we have raised is time for the deposit and all. I'll not be able to respond because the airlines, don't listen to me directly. You know what I can assure is that you can approach me. I can sit with the airlines and prevail upon them. Try to be accommodative. Otherwise, one more stakeholders' interests are sacrificed. So that's what I can do. Other questions I have answered. So, Goyal sir, what I would say is that it was a nice interactive session, very efficient. The new normal has been established. Okay, now which means we become more productive. Our efficiency improves. We save resources, and the costs come down. Now this is going to the new normal, and an excellent example is today that we have 100+ participants who gathered together today, and without burning any petrol, without even consuming. Means Goyal साहब आपकी तो चाय भी बच गई.
Sir, what do you have?
Yeah, so it's really nice and nice interaction. Goyal sahab said, sir, please take 2-3 questions. I think I was able to take about 20 questions.
Oh,
so let this be a beginning. Let this be a beginning of our journey.
Thank you.
And as I have promised, I'll be talking to my colleague, Secretary Tourism, and see to it that some working group is set up so that this potential, which is going to, I would say, which is going to come to us in the next 2-3 months, it should be exploited to the maximum. We should try to convince the people, and if we do it jointly, I'm sure that we will be able to ensure that the travel, tourism, hospitality, all the sectors, all this recovers, and it recovers very fast. We have learned lots of lessons. The crisis was bad for all of us, but it also gave us opportunity to introspect so many things, and we were able to do some changes, bring some reforms, and the new normal is the biggest reform. So with these few words, what I would say is that I really enjoyed being all of you. All of you are great friends. We keep on meeting, and always our doors are open to you. Any problem, you can approach me on any time. And now these days, you don't have to come to my office also. You can electronically approach me, and we have various modes by which we can interact, and let this interaction continue. And so I'm really thankful to all of you for this patient hearing, and 100 plus participants. I saw that normally in webinars, what happens is that people switch off the video and go and do their work. But I saw that all the hundreds were active. They were active. They were participating in it. So this credit to all of you that this was really a meaningful conference where we got good suggestions and we arrived at some good decisions. So thank you very much. And
thank you very much, sir. I would request now GMR, because they had taken a lot of initiative on this. So if they could formally propose a vote of thanks. Hello.
Thank you, sir. I'm Jiten from the DIET, sir. And thank you very much, sir, that we have heard the roadmap for the future of the aviation and tourism, which was very nice, sir. And it's also heartful to know that now the government of India is recognizing the aviation and tourism as an industry also, which will give us impetus. And we are very happy to note down that you are going to talk to the tourism ministry to set up a task force, which will be having a partnership with the government or agencies and the private agencies. I'm sure that airports and airlines will also be a part of that. So that's a very important step you have suggested, and you have also agreed that we can give you a paper in which the interest of all the papers, all the stakeholders can be taken care in case of some solution can be given. You are very happy to listen. So thank you very much for giving your time to us. We are very happy to receive, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. We will really grateful. We are not. You're going to spearhead us, our entire regeneration movement. And thank you and God bless you.
And I look forward to the recording. Huh? Well, sir.
Yes. We'll send that. And sir, also we will make the paper and send it to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much.
All the best, Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.